Congratulations, Emerson graduating class. My name is Mark Rovick. I was board chair at Emerson for 10 years and just retired from the University of Maryland after 20 years as a professor at the business school in College Park. And I have a firm that invests in mission-driven entrepreneurs to solve social problems in the world. I'm a venture capitalist. Wanted to say I'm sorry that I'm not here in person with you, and I know that these last months have been a struggle for you as they have been for everybody. I'm sorry your experience of graduation is not as amazing and live as you hoped it would be, and I appreciate your persevering in the face of adversity. Just wanted to share some thoughts with you. I've been spending a lot of time with a friend who his voice in his head, his critical voice, has overtaken his thinking, and so he's been institutionalized during this crisis. And it's made me just acutely aware of the danger of that negative voice in your head. So I wanted to first urge you to just be kind to yourself and to be gentle, the way that you speak to yourself and the way that you think about what you're doing and what's going on, and just to keep perspective that you're a young soul amongst 7 billion in a rock floating in outer space, and you're doing the best you can, and you're actually doing really well that you've gotten yourself here today. Likely you've overcome some adversity to be here, and I just wanted to congratulate you and urge you to be kind and gentle with yourself. I have a few other things that I ask people to take away at the end of the class that I used to teach. And so the first is on that theme of forgiving yourself and others. Try not to be angry, but be patient with yourself and others. And your words are very powerful. So when you're using them, try and use them to lessen the suffering of others and not to increase it. Tell yourself a positive story about yourself and what's going on in your life. Focus on what's beautiful and what's good to the best of your ability. Be very empathetic, understand other people's points of view. As I age, I try and listen as much as possible and ask really good questions, and you'll find that's a more curious way to live and endears you to folks. Be present and aware. Try to be as distracted as seldom as possible. Be awake and alive, and you'll notice some really great stuff going on. It's harder to notice what's good if you're distracted. Try hard and put in the extra effort when it's crunch time. You don't have to push yourself to the edge all the time, but know the times where it makes a difference, and it can make all the difference. Be humble and not motivated by fear or greed. So be conscious of what's motivating you, and try and be motivated by service, because that is the truth and the path to true happiness. And remember, I think that people's deepest need is to love and be loved. I learned that from Mr. Rogers, actually. And if you keep that in mind, you're going to be able to meet people's needs. And that's a type of service that's really amazing as you're living your life in an awake and empathetic way, to come with a spirit of service and be kind to yourself, and to recognize people's need to be loved and to love, and to use your words carefully. And so I'll leave you just with a little piece that I wrote when John Glick passed away. John was my closest friend and was head of the school for about a decade when I was board chair. And I gave a eulogy at his funeral, and there's a piece about Emerson I wanted to share. That John's vision was to build a school where people who may have been lost came to find their way. People who were sad came to Emerson and became happy, and people who were withering came and blossomed. And Emerson allowed them to wake up to the joy of seeing the stunning beauty that life had to offer. Emerson tries more than most institutions to create an unconditionally loving environment, a supportive culture that respects and honors everyone's unique perspective. And that's why I dedicated a decade of my life to Emerson. And then at Emerson, once somebody feels safe and loved, they thrive there. And Emerson becomes a place where each student has the tools and teachers to sculpt themselves into an amazing work of art that shines brighter than they ever could have imagined. So congratulations on graduating. Go out into the world with gentle, loving acceptance of yourself and others, and put your unique stamp, your unique expression of divinity into everything you do. Thrive, be happy, and know that we all have your back. Good luck.